We're in the final stretch of the challenge, and most of what we have left is some fun and easy stuff. But we're going to use this video to learn one more type of pronoun that we haven't covered yet: prepositional pronouns. This involves just a little bit of grammar, but it's pretty simple. To warm up, let's do a little refresher on how to find the right pronoun in a sentence. So, for starters, what pronoun would you use in this sentence? He is eating. The word he here is a subject pronoun. He's the one doing the action. So you'll use a subject pronoun, él. Next, how do you translate the pronouns in the sentence, I love him? We have two pronouns here. The first one is the subject, and that's yo. And then the him there is from the hymn scene. So we have lo. Yo lo quiero. Now how about this one? I was with him. This one is confusing. I mean, the subject pronoun is yo, so that's fine. But what do we do with the him there? It isn't the subject because you wouldn't say he in English, so it's not in the sheep pasture scene. But it's also not a direct object because you can't place this right before a verb in Spanish. What do you do with that word? It turns out that there's a whole category for pronouns that are put right after a preposition. They're called prepositional pronouns. So all of our prepositions, con, de, para, por, and so on, can be followed by any kind of normal noun in general, such as en la casa, con el chico, por mi amigo, and so on. But when you put a pronoun after a preposition, in situations like with him or for her, we have to be careful what type of pronoun we use. And for our purposes, we're going to think of these as a whole new category. So there's a whole new memory palace scene to learn for prepositional pronouns. But the good news is that this scene is actually very easy to learn if you've used our memory palaces already, because this scene is very much like the sheep pasture scene that we learned for subject pronouns. So imagine that you and your friends are still at the sheep pastures that we used to learn yo, ella, tú, and so on. And you've been blocked by the strange shepherd who's in your way, and you end up stuck here all the way until nightfall. After the sun sets and the moon comes out, something very strange happens. You look around you in the moonlight, and some things have changed, but others haven't. On the left side, the female sheep is still hula hooping, so she's still ella. Apparently she never sleeps. And to the right, the male sheep seems to have fallen asleep, but he's still drinking his ale while sleeping, so his name is still él. But then, the weird shepherd with a beard, well, in the moonlight, he's transformed into something else. He's shrunk to half his normal height, and his face has turned into a teapot. So his name at nighttime is now Ti, spelled T-I. It's a tiny little word, and it's kind of like his name has shrunk from tu or te to ti, almost just a little squeak. Your name has shrunk as well, from yo or me to simply mi, which is M-I with an accent mark, almost just a little squeak. But then your friends still have oats in their noses after all these hours, and their word is still nosotros. The thing about these words is that they aren't really part of the grammar of how a sentence is structured. They're just special words that are placed after a preposition. So anytime you see a personal pronoun after a preposition, you'll use one of these words. You could basically use any preposition before any one of these. So let's practice them. How would you say, it's for us? That's es para nosotros. How about it's for me? Es para mí. It's for you. Es para ti. It's for him. Es para él. It's for her. Es para ella. You can pick any preposition and try this out. For example, the preposition a, meaning to. We can say, the dog ran to us, by saying, the dog ran a nosotros. And then we can interchange nosotros with anybody else in this moonlit scene. So we can say, a mí, a ti, a él, and a ella. There's one exception, though. Something weird happens with the preposition con. It's the only preposition that doesn't follow this rule perfectly. You are allowed to say con él, con ella, and con nosotros. For example, we were with him is estábamos con él. Or they were with us is estaban con nosotros. But the combinations con ti and con mí don't work. And that's because these combinations, with me and with you, are so frequently used that they've actually been turned into their own words. So there are some unique words that you would use for this. The words are conmigo and contigo. So it's pretty much like con mi and con ti, but with go at the end for some reason. So in summary, remember this scene with ti, mi, él, ella, and nosotros. Generally speaking, you can use any of these after a preposition. But the word con is the exception. Practice saying conmigo and contigo, and it'll become natural very soon. Let's practice with a few examples. Were you with me that day?
¿Estabas conmigo ese día?
This is for you.
Esto es para ti.
That was because of me.
Eso era por mí.
I have done it with you one time.
Lo he hecho contigo una vez.
Will he be with her?
¿Estará con ella?